Welcome back. If you're a Type 5 or know someone who is a Type 5, this video is for you. We'll discover how Type 5s respond in stress, whether you're feeling drained, defensive, or just wondering what health, because this isn't just about a personality test, it's about spiritual transformation. In this video, we're going to explore how Type 5s behave when they're overwhelmed and under pressure, how they start to take on unhealthy traits of a Type 7. This section is designed to help you recognize when you're under stress and how stress affects your inner world, and more importantly, how God's grace meets you in this place. Let's talk about the stress path. What does it look like when a Type 5 is overwhelmed, running on empty, and stressed beyond their limits? When stress hits, the Type 5 will look a lot like an unhealthy Type 7. Here are some characteristics to help us recognize when you're under stress. The first characteristic is your thoughts are racing and you have restless energy. This is where stress flips a switch in the 5. What once felt like a calm, contained mental space becomes a chaotic flood and fragment thoughts. Instead of feeling like a quiet expert in the room, you suddenly feel like a novice drawing in too many distractions. The once clear mental boundaries blur. This inner panic makes you want to run, not with emotion or drama, but through mental stimulation. Podcast research, rabbit holes, endless scrolling, or just observing over one new interest after another. The deeper drive behind this, it's not just curiosity, it's the desperate attempt to not feel drained, useless, or irrelevant. The fear that you won't have enough energy, knowledge, or resources to keep going, so you speed up an effort to outrun that fear. Ironically, it only takes things feeling more scattered and overwhelming. This is where rest doesn't come from controlling your thoughts. It comes from trusting presence in the middle of them. You're not meant to carry the weight of holding it all together. Psalms 46, verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalms 46 was written during a time when everything around God's people felt shaky and uncertain. Cities were under attack, people were afraid, and the future seemed unknown. And in the middle of all that, God says, "Be still and know that I am God." This verse isn't just about sitting quietly. It's about choosing to pause when everything in you wants to panic. Type 5s often feel the need to mentally fix and figure things out. It's a reminder you don't have to handle everything. You don't have to have understanding it all. God is in control. Even when your thoughts are racing, it's like God saying, "Let me be God," and let yourself breathe. The second characteristic to know you're here is overbooking with fascinating escapes. In stress, types start filling up their time with too many things: podcasts, hobbies, reading, or chatting about random topics. It's not that you enjoy all of it. It's just easier than sitting still and feeling exposed. Keeping your mind busy helps you avoid feeling that something's missing deep inside. All the activity becomes a shield against emotional vulnerability, and the more you pile on, the more distant you feel from your own heart. Your emptiness often comes from the fear that your needs don't matter. But when you invite God into that space, He reminds you that your needs do matter to Him. He's not asking you to be self-sufficient. He's offering to be your daily strength. Instead of distractions, you find presence. Instead of more input, you find peace. Isaiah chapter 52, verse 2 says, "Why spend your money on what is not bread, and your labor on what does not satisfy? Listen to me and eat what is good, and you will delight in the riches of fare. Isaiah 52 verse 2 speaks directly to the type 5's tendency to fill their life with knowledge, activity, and stimulation, hoping it will satisfy the ache inside. But God gently interrupts that pattern and asks, why are you spending all your energy on things that leave you empty? This verse invites us to shift our efforts from chasing the world's distractions to receiving God's true nourishment. He offers what is good, lasting, and deeply satisfying. Type 5s who tend to overbook and overstimulate to avoid vulnerability. This verse is to remind God is not just another thing to manage. He is the one who satisfies the deepest part of your soul. The world will always leave you hungry for more, but God offers what truly fills. The third characteristic, you become more cynicism, impulsive, and impatient. The usually calm and thoughtful type 5 can suddenly start snapping at people, cutting conversations short, or giving sarcastic answers. They might pull away from others without explaining or get irritated over things that normally wouldn't bother them. Deep down, they're feeling overwhelmed and scattered. Your biggest fear is losing your ability to think clearly or handle things. So instead of asking for help, you try to protect yourselves by pushing others away and acting like you don't care. Even when the world feels out of control, God is not. He sees your irritation and confusion and offers peace that surpasses understanding. James chapter 3, verse 17 says, the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy. This verse shows us that real wisdom isn't loud, pushy, or impatient. It's calm and kind. When a type 5 gets stressed, you often try to take control and can come off as sharp or distant. But God's wisdom looks different. It's gentle, thoughtful, and full of grace. This verse is a reminder that you don't have to be the smartest person in the room or have everything figured out. When you let go of control and trust God, you'll find a peaceful kind of strength that doesn't need to prove anything. God helps you with patience and compassion, even when life feels messy. The fourth characteristic is you become talkative but disconnected. Ironically, when a type 5 gets stressed, you might start talking a lot more than usual, but it's not the kind of talking that brings connection. You might start sharing random facts, venting ideas, or rambling about things you've been holding in. It's not because you want to bond, it's because you're overwhelmed inside. You're trying to feel better, but it doesn't always lead to closeness with others. It just feels like a little release. God doesn't need your polished thoughts. He desires your honest heart. When you bring your overflow to Him, you're able to share with others in ways that brings connection, not just emotional overflow. Psalm 62, verse 8, pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us. God is okay with you talking a lot when you're stressed. He understands. He also wants to help calm you on the inside so your words can bring peace and encouragement, not just random information. So what it feels like for a type 5 to be under stress, you feel scattered, overstimulated, and strangely out of control, like your minds and body moving faster than your soul can follow. There's a longing for solitude, but a fear of what you feel when you get there. You may feel shame for acting out of character. But for the type 5s, this is not who you are. This is where you are. When you're in the stress path, the enemy whispers, you have to figure it all out. Don't let anyone in. But the gospel says, you are safe in Christ even when you're spinning out. You don't have to be the expert. Jesus already is. You can rest, you can slow down, you can be held, because your worth isn't in your insight or performance. It's in Christ alone, and He will never run out on you. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, subscribe and like this video. And if you want to dive more deeper into the Enneagram, I have a free guide for you to download. Just click the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.